Hail and well met, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show of the Westgate Irregulars, somewhat diminished party for several reasons. Erin is off on a well-deserved vacation, just her and her husband, which is really awesome. They're not taking their kids with them to Hawaii, which is amazing.
Whoa!
They're just going the two of
yet.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's taking care of them? The kid?
One of the relatives, one of the aunts,
Yeah.
I think.
The important part is it's not one of us.
Right. That's important. You're not going to see one of Aaron's kids leap into frame.
Yeah.
That'd be great, actually.
Just
And
to be
Randy's
sure.
not here because Randy is off on a birthday vacation as well. So
Oh,
instead,
yes.
God.
we have Allie, who is sitting in a Shay Dark song. Shay has been behind the scenes for, the entirety of the campaign. And she pops in sometimes to share the stage with our favorite group. So that's what's going on. And I will say something very similar to that when we start the actual stream. But you all who arrived here early, you got the early.
You know what's up. You're the real MVPs.
So just to be sure, the uncle who is taking care of Aaron's kids, he's not like an actor who
What?
I think it's an aunt, I think. And no, she's not an actor.
Okay.
I think we've met her actually when one of those times we went over to Aaron's house.
You know what I wish we had done is I wish we had actually recruited Aaron's kid to play Cecilia this week.
Oh man.
We stay up too late for him though.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
He could go to sleep at the break. That's what usually happens, right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Like,
Perfect.
okay, you're playing your mom's character. Shh, she must never know.
Yeah.
She'd never.
And then we
notice
just
when it's
post it on
posted.
YouTube.
Also, as sort of surrogate uncles and aunts, it's our job to keep the kid up too late. And
Right.
True. Yeah. We got to spoil him.
We wouldn't be doing our job if we let him go to bed at a responsible time.
Yeah. And as a Chinese
Just
uncle,
like
I need to give him like $100
Right.
as a secret from his mom. Spend it on whatever you want, kid.
Yeah, and also have this whistle and this tin drum.
Yeah.
Kazoo, man, kazoo. Get up your game
Kazoos.
there.
But you can only
So,
play it
I was
when you're supposed to be asleep, and then you pretend that it wasn't you.
So there was this Mark Twain wrote this wonderful book called Roughing It, which is his trip. It's sort of like his journals going across the country from, I think, Connecticut to San Francisco, and he stopped by way of Utah, and he met Brigham Young, or maybe it was Joseph Smith, but I can't remember.
Oh,
But whoever it was had like multiple wives and a lot of kids.
yeah.
And he said he gave them each a tin drum and a whistle before he left.
Father of the year right there.
Yeah.
No, Twain did. Twain gave it, and then he took off.
That
pretty
sounds
great,
like Mark
actually.
Can you
Twain.
imagine?
Yeah, what a great guy.
Can you imagine the
That's
household?
amazing.
Like 12 kids with tin drums marching around, blowing whistles. Oh my God. It's
How
kind of
can I cause the most problems?
Yeah.
How can I shape the future of Mormonism? I know.
Calvin's
That's
playing the
hilarious.
band in the Mormon scriptures on tin whistles and drums. Like outlaw.
Is it?
Wait, are they really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I
It would
hardly
be
know
fun.
anything about Mormonism. Like everything I know is from South Park, basically.
Oh, okay. So you know nothing about Mormonism.
Well, that's not true. I spent a summer with a bunch of Mormons once upon a time in China, but they didn't teach me
Wow.
anything about Mormonism. They were just good people and to hang out
Yeah.
with, and they wanted to learn more about China than teach me about Mormonism,
Okay.
which is great.
Did
I've
they
never-
did they
I have
subtly
never-
try and get you to become a Mormon? I'm just
No, in fact,
so
like
it's too subtle. Is what you're
I
saying? Okay.
appreciate that. If they just do it by being good people, that's the way it ought to be, right? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Yes.
agree.
you know, it's you don't have to say it. If you have to say something, you're not doing it right. But if
Mm.
you live it right, then it becomes attractive, or at least that's my thought.
Of course, I mean, I had a friend, my friend who was a Mormon. I like knew her through the time when she like more and more and more. So I watched the like process of her lapsing and like her
Oh.
reasons for that. So
yeah. My partner actually is ex-Mormon. She left the church at some point. And I have a few friends that have done the same thing.
Oh,
But it's personal choices.
Did she join down in Australia? Like, what is the Mormon community like over in Australia?
It exists. That's about as much as I know about it.
Yeah,
Her
fact one.
father is still a member. He's lapsed, but he's a member. They send missionaries every so often to check up on him.
my Mormon missionary story is they came to the door and I was washing the dishes, and I listened to podcasts on the like whole room speakers when I'm doing the dishes. And so at the point when I answered the door, the Savage Lovecast was on,
Nice.
which is Dan Savage's sex advice.
Oh my god.
But like, I guess because of how the speakers were tuned or whatever, you couldn't really hear it very well at the door. So we had this like sort of quasi-normal conversation where I was mostly, I think, the one who could hear like a little bit of what the podcast was saying, and I was like, "You can go anytime now. You can go."
Wow.
I
I grew up amongst a thriving community of Latter-day Saints practitioners in my hometown. So I know a lot of Mormons and former Mormons.
I have to say, I haven't met a ton, but I've never met one I didn't like. Like I've only met a few, but
Yeah.
they're all good people. I never met. I mean, obviously, in any religion, you're going to find people that you're probably not going to like. But so far, that's not been my,
Yeah,
experience.
but I mean, I was in Temple Square at one point doing the tourist thing, and Convocation or whatever their yearly meeting is like let out, and
is Temple Square Utah? In
Salt Lake City, where they have a bunch. They have their big like so Tabernacle, wouldn't it be? And they have a little museum and like all kinds of admin buildings and stuff. Anyway, so that let out for lunch, and like so the entirety of like a 6-block radius was just flooded with everybody, all the Mormons coming from that gathering. And that's one of the times in my life where I felt like, not that anybody was hostile to me, but I felt so culturally uncomfortable because within that 6-block radius, there was me and another woman who was there for an archaeology conference. This was in undergrad. And we were the only two women within that 6-block radius, not wearing a skirt, not next to a man, either a father or a husband, and not in some like kind of family group with like kids in tow, either like an older kid of the kids or one of a couple who has kids. And I was just like, it was really kind of scary in a way because I stood out so much, and I'm like, right now nobody even cares or is paying attention to me, but like, if they decided
that's
to be
an interesting
hostile,
experience, that social pressure.
yeah.
I mean, I hate for our pregame show to turn into a like, let's talk about Mormons sort of show, but
I have my show and tell.
Yeah, let's see this show and tell.
That stuff up. So my space opera, my ebooks, they are going to be a print book.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Nice.
So this is the proof copy to check to make sure that like all the page numbering and typos and whatever are good to go. So I'll be next couple weeks like actually like reading it, which is weird. Like reading my own words. I've done it before for my other print copies. Reading my own words over again. But it looks like a real book. Oh my god.
It looks really nice.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Good cover.
Thank you.
Yeah, I recognize each of those women from each of the series of covers or something. They just took like a slice.
Yeah. I looked up other sort of box sets or combined volumes, and that was sort of one of the styles of the way of doing it that I really liked. So I told my cover artist, and she was awesome. She was like, "Sure, I can do that."
Sweet.
Hey,
Congratulations. I had a book come out today, in fact.
You also
Oh,
have a
yeah.
book?
Do you have? Yeah. Do you have your?
I don't have
copy?
one because my publisher hasn't sent me one yet, but I have the first 3 all right here.
Shiny.
Nice.
Throw
Yeah,
up the
very
cover
cool.
for the fourth one next to you too.
The cover for the 4th one is pretty cool. It's out now. Please go buy it. Anyway,
It's also that way, right next to Eric.
is it?
I just put it up on display.
Oh man, I need to look at the stream.
It's to your right.
I know. Oh,
Hey, Allie, what's the
Anyway,
are you you're heading into winter right now, right?
yeah, getting into the kind of into fall.
Okay. And are there any cases of COVID down there, or did your island successfully quarantine it away?
There are the occasional little flare-ups, but for the most part, at least in Victoria, where I am, everything's been pretty self-contained. The spread hasn't been very bad. I will say the rate of vaccination has been fairly low, just because I guess there's been some supply issues. So,
Oh,
well, there was a big news story not too long ago about a whole shipment of one of the types that was supposed to be coming here from Italy, and the Italian government just like went, nope, we're keeping this, and
wow.
gave it to their own people. And it's
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh, that's thanks, guys. Like, I know things are pretty bad there too, but well, they weren't bad. They were bad here. They were bad there.
I mean,
But-
we have the opposite problem in the US,
yeah, we have a demand problem in the U.S.
which is
Mhm.
real ridiculous.
I mean, part of that is how many people are just refusing to get it outright. But
But the funny thing is that, like, we're starting to see news reports of America won't reach herd immunity because of this vaccination refusal, which is funny since the people refusing the vaccine were the ones who were like, we just need to get to herd immunity.
it goes because it's all hypocrisy. They don't care.
Oh, one of our
Just want to
viewers
do what they want to do.
Proquire says that it's not unreasonable for their neck of the woods because things were not that bad there, apparently. I don't know what area you're from, but there's some, I don't know. I feel like it just maybe
It's fair.
sets the wrong, it's like a good tone to have everybody in the overall population like take the vaccine, I guess.
I mean, yeah. Well, someone pointed out that it's funny that there are so many people refusing to get the vaccine and going so far as to get fake vaccination cards made so that they can travel. But these are the same people that complain about, undocumented immigrants with fake papers.
Yeah. Oh, Proquire is in Australia, not the US. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Get vaccinated, everybody. Please do. It's
Yeah.
important.
As soon as my partner and I are eligible, we're planning on it. Right now, I think they're in the, if you have a condition that can make it could be exacerbated by COVID, then you can get it. But we're kind of working our way through it slowly.
Celdrine is saying that she's half vaccinated. I am also
me too.
half vaccinated. My
Yeah.
second shot is on Saturday, so
Mine's in
see
like
how
2
that
weeks.
goes. Team Pfizer, woo!
Oh
So
yeah,
is
Team
the-
Pfizer. Woo!
Not
I'm
that
a
it
Moderna.
matters, right? Like
It matters. No,
it
not
matters
really.
as much as your Pokemon League. Okay, that's how much it matters.
Whoa.
I get my second
Whoa.
one next Tuesday,
Those
so
are
we'll
fighting
see.
words.
Like, I might be interesting
Oh,
next Wednesday
yeah.
for a game,
Nice.
depending on.
Okay.
So should we just like put up a picture of your character and you'll just like kind of ramble about drugs? That's what we did when I was last on drugs. Anyway,
Yeah. As an aside, I also have a book.
Oh,
that came out.
hey.
Ah.
Congrats.
That's the dinosaur anthology. Woo.
Yes, it's an anthology about all the stories are about dinosaurs, and my story, Droma Station, which is sci-fi, appears in there. So
Cool.
it's out now. I believe you can get it off of Amazon. Definitely get the Kindle edition, but I've got like 4 hard copies. I think I overdid it.
Mhm.
Oh, you should give me a link to that sometime when we maybe during the
Yeah,
break,
yeah,
and then I'll put
Yeah.
it up in the bot.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I can do that.
At one time, I thought I would really enjoy having a booth at conferences and selling books. So I bought a lot of books, and then I went to one and freaking hated it. Never went back. And now I have lots of books.
Well, there you
I mean,
go.
you can do consignment. That's what I do.
Where do you do that?
Well, I mean, with whoever you have good relationships with. Patrick Swenson, Fairwood Press. He's at a lot of the local cons. He won't take like a ton because he's doing his authors, but he'll take a couple from people who he's friends with. And I'm trying to think. The trouble is like Amy Cat was a vendor who always took consignments from me, and she was an amazing person. But I believe she died last year.
Oh,
So she won't be at the local cons. But the smaller book vendors at NorwestCon, Dwayne from University Bookstore, when they're doing NorwestCon, he'll take some consignments. The smaller vendors, you go and you're like, okay, you can have X amount of list price. They usually have a sense. And then like, would you like to have these to put out? And sometimes they'll be like, no, we have no space, or, whatever. But like, if they do have space, it's like they didn't pack those books in. They don't pack those books out. So if you put them up there and they sell them, that is being free money for them. So it's a if they do have the space, a good deal for them. So, and it does mean that like you can't come with your like stack of like 10. Like they're not going to do that. But if you have like 2 copies of your first book that you're really like pushing, like that's the sort of scale that you can do it on.
I figure I'll just give them away every now and then to people. And by the time I'm 89 and dying, they'll be gone.
Sure, yeah. So like next week. No, I'm just no.
You could just give it away as giveaways on the stream, or during Extra Life Day or something.
I am happy to do that. Just let me know.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. So,
You'd think I'd have written down more NPC names for this whole big place that you're going to, but nah.
Just gonna make
It's
them up on
fine.
the spot.
oh yeah.
Make them up on the spot.
I mean, one of the women I gamed with when I was doing Moo Games, she did have a cat that was literally named Orange Juice McSofa.
That is an amazing
Called it
name.
OJ.
That's a great
And
name.
I don't think it was so much that like at the time she had the cat, she was like, oh God, what do I name it? But it was because of like pets for NPCs and pets for like PCs in the game. Like there'd been a few like late night, we can't think of anything. Okay, now it's named for the thing that I see on my desk. And then I think her other cat was hides in bushes and trees. So she'd talk about her cat's hides and OJ.
Those sound like tabaxi names.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, it's a race in D&D.
People.
Yeah, it's cat people.
Yeah.
And they have names kind of like that.
Kind of like the Cats movie. Yeah,
No.
Oh my god.
No.
No,
No.
nothing is like the Cats movie.
What Cats
mean,
movie? Yeah, exactly.
Cats is not like the Cats movie. So
You know what's like the Cats movie? The poem by T.S. Eliot that it's based on. That's not true. That's not like that. No.
Well, the Cats movie has to exist because there's been some like quality YouTube and podcast content lampooning it.
I guess that's true.
So, I mean, I never
That's-
saw it.
that's
I just
nice.
watched the like things making fun of it and was very happy with that sort of state of affairs.
I mean, I just like to believe that yet again, it's once again a tax scheme. Just we need to make a big loser so that we can save some money from the government.
Well, so the thing I was watching was talking about more how Tom Hooper, like he did really well on Les Mis, like, but I mean, depending on whether you like Les Mis, and I didn't, the movie version of it, and so like what he did is it was almost, yes, it almost worked on Les Mis, and then he applied it to Cats, and it didn't work at all. Oh my god! And it sort of shows just what was already sort of going wrong with Les Mis, as far as making it gritty and letting them speak instead of sing, and losing the sort of musical motifs and things like that. And then like,
Oh, just one of the viewers said hi, so I decided to wave.
oh, okay. I'm like, what am I doing? You're waving at me.
Stop talking about cats. The producer's in the chat. No, if only. But
It would be pretty funny if the producer of Cats showed up and then said,
yeah, they were like, I'm sorry.
Andrew Lloyd Webber is like, I'm joining a podcast next week, so I want to see what D&D is all about.
Yeah. Holy
a podcast
crap! I would
about
listen to that.
D&D.
I would listen to that podcast. That would
Also,
be
Jeff
bananas.
Goldblum is doing it, so
Yeah, I saw that. Jeff Goldblum.
So how do we get a guest like that?
Have we ever asked?
Apparently, we need to know the right people.
Yeah, it's true.
Also,
Any
money.
of you know the right
Money
people?
probably helps a lot. How much do you think Jeff is getting for Dark Dice?
Do you think he is getting, or is he not? Doesn't he just do it because he loves it? What's wrong with him?
I 100% believe he's doing it for money. I don't know. Maybe he's too rich now. He's so rich that he can just do what he wants. You know, who knows?
It just depends, I guess.
I'm disappointed. in
I
him.
mean, I think he's too rich and too smart to do anything for exposure.
well,
so-
yeah, but wouldn't you just do it because it's fun?
I think he just does things because it's fun.
Well, that means we have a chance, right?
A chance he might
Who
find
knows
it
somebody who knows
real-
somebody who
real
knows somebody
fun.
rich.
Have him come in and
That's
Jeff
famous.
Goldblum at things. Just,
Yeah,
I mean,
Oh my
seriously,
God.
if you were really that big, wouldn't it be fun to just like guest, just cameo on some random podcast, D&D podcast, just once, and then
Just scream bomb.
yeah, just that'd be fun. I mean, it'd be kind of easy to do, and it wouldn't cost you anything except for some time. If you're listening, Jeff, I mean,
I mean, let's see. I do know someone who knows David Hayter, and that would be pretty great because then we could do Metal Gear Sturge and just have
Whoa.
David play a like sidekick sort of character, and then you two could sneak around through somewhere. I think that'd be pretty great.
who's okay? Who's
See the voice.
Steven is too old
Yeah.
to understand. David Hayter is a voice actor who voiced Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid series.
until they replaced him with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Did they?
Did they? That's fair. That's fair. No spoilers, but that's fair. Did they?
Mm.
Robert Emerson in the chat suggests that we go for Bill Murray if possible.
Well,
See,
how about we just try all the celebrities? I mean, it
I feel
costs us
like-
nothing to send an email.
I feel like Bill Murray is the kind of guy who would do our show and say, "No one's going to believe that it's really me,"
Mm.
and he would be correct.
Yeah.
No one would believe.
Just
it was
never
real.
turn his camera on. Just
Whoa.
It's just a picture of him in like his in the Zombieland makeup, and he's just like,
Oh my God, Nick Cage, yes. Well, we could also just hire an impersonator, and then the viewers would
I
have
mean,
to guess if it's really the
true.
celebrity or not.
True.
there are a bunch of well-known celebrities that also love D&D.
Holy cow!
yeah.
Quite a few.
We get Nick Cage, and then 5 Nick Cage impersonators, and we have them play D&D.
See, that's
we call it
like
Return to the
becoming a game show.
Doppelgangers.
And I think if we're gonna go game show, we should go full game show and do some kind of like D&D-esque game show.
Yes. Okay, it's 6:25. It's time to go to the
All right.
recap. Does anybody have any final words before we open our new community challenge? 6 Nick Cages playing D&D.
I'm sorry for the video quality. That's my only.
Allie is partly in shadow because her character is partly in shadow.
Well, I meant
Time.
never mind.
Anyway,
Yeah, enjoy the recap. We'll be back in 5.
all right, don't go.
He did it. Well, that was quite the episode, wasn't it? Wrapping up things in the Night Mask Lair, the Irregulars and Shiny found a woman in a tube full of acid, of all things. But the acid didn't seem to be harming her at all. I wonder what that was all about. Now, I know what you're going to say about finding things in strange places, and I fully agree. But this woman did seem to need help. So the Irregulars took her out of the Night Mask Lair and back to Mirren's estate so that she could keep an eye on this strange lady. Strange tube lady. But with that wrapped up Shiny's business in Westgate. He felt it was best for him to leave with all haste. But not before a series of, well, one heartfelt goodbye. But he wasn't sent off alone. And, well, one heartfelt goodbye turned into multiple as Stong not only informed the rest of the Irregulars that he was leaving, but sent Mirabelle with him and informed the Irregulars that he was doing so, bringing them, at least some of them, out to bid farewell to their little friend. But Shiny wasn't leaving with just Mirabelle. He was also leaving with the shard of that strange goblet that belonged to the Night King. So, with any luck, he can keep it away from them. But time will tell, won't it? Now, this wasn't the only thing that happened in the episode, and certainly wasn't the most surprising. Not only did Shiny depart again with Mirabelle, but with the help of Sturge, Cecilia got to take a look inside Sarshan's mind, giving her a view of everything he'd seen so far. And it turns out he'd seen quite a lot, over and over again. It appears that Sarshan has been living in a time loop, and somehow resetting it every time he failed at whatever his task was. Now, what this means exactly, it's still hard to say, but it's left the group with a few questions. Now, whether we'll get to that this time, that's another thing entirely. For now, the question to be answered is, where's Fame? Because Fame has the rest of the goblet. Get your popcorn ready. 'Cause this one is going to be quite the ride. Well, I hope.